Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm your host Captain Rye, and today's video comes to us courtesy of Derp Amber. And Derp is playing in one of my favorite Tier 6 battleships here in the game. He's playing in the Tier 6 USS New Mexico, also known as the New Mexicoke or the Nex-Mex. As the battle gets underway, it's domination match mode, and it's a Tier 6 maximum battle. Now, the New Mexico is your standard and typical US battleship, pretty much until you hit that North Carolina. It's going to be a very reasonably protected ship. Don't give too much broadside, and you shouldn't have too many problems. But it's also incredibly slow. We're talking a 21 knot top speed with full hull upgrade. Now, Derp does not have the full hull upgrade here, so I don't know if he's got that engine upgrade as well. But lacking that full hull upgrade is going to be a little bit of a detriment to him in this battle, because it means it's a slower rudder shift time and less anti-aircraft. And anti-aircraft is somewhat important here, because if you look at the team's lineup, you can see that both teams have 2 aircraft carriers on each team. That's a lot of airplanes. Now, down at Tier 6, Tier 5, Tier 4, the carrier planes aren't nearly as problematic for something like, say, the New Mexico as they are for other ships. But when you can stack them up and coordinate with a lot, and I do mean a lot of aircraft, well, eventually something's going to get through. Think Russian mass wave, only with planes. Now, Derp has already started taking shots out there. He's been trying to pick off this destroyer off in the distance here, and you can see the clustering of these 12 14-inch guns is actually pretty decent, right up until you get around to your max range. The New Mexico does have an advantage with its max range. It also has a really good advantage if you play it as a concealment build. If you decide you want to keep this ship, and I do recommend it as a decent ship to keep, put a captain with a concealment build on there, and you can drop that detection range way, way down to just under 12 kilometers. Enemy Furutaka is turning broadside onto a battleship, and you know what that means. That's going to get a nice big smack, and Derp manages to cause his first major amount of damage there, double citadeling that poor Furitako. Now, of course, that Furitako is out in the open, and he is trying desperately to turn away, but not before he's going to take another hit there and get more fire coming in. But it looks like he's managed to avoid most of the damage from all of these shots coming in. Now, Derp is doing something that I don't recommend doing in the New Mexico, just because it takes forever to change directions. Once you get going, you've got that momentum, the ship is actually decently maneuverable and reasonable as far as getting yourself into position. But when you stop like this, you basically open yourself up as a sitting duck, and it's not something that I ever recommend doing. But Derp is taking the chance here. He's using an island as base cover to avoid shots coming in from the Congo there. At this particular moment, there is an enemy New York that's pushing up towards the B cap point, but he's not really in a position to shoot at him thanks to the way the islands are. Now, Derp's team has taken the lead here. They've got the A cap point. They have managed to kill 1 cruiser. The enemy team has also managed to kill 1 cruiser, so they're equal on ships, but because they've got the A cap point, they have the points lead. And Derp manages to secure his first kill in the game by finishing off that Furutaka before that Furutaka could slip outside of gun range. Now, I noticed the gun range here is about 16 kilometers, fully upgraded with the full hull and the full range. I think the range of the guns is something like 18 kilometers, at least that was the last time I played, and that's with the full upgrades there and modules. Now, 18 kilometers is not bad. If you've got the concealment again, you can use this ship pretty effectively to sneak up on enemies, but you've got that scout catapult aircraft, and that scout catapult aircraft will extend your gun range out, at least with full gun range, to something like 22 kilometers. That gives you a huge, massive gun range, and can really cause some problems on smaller maps like this. Basically, you could just sit in the B cap point, put that scout up there, that spotter, and hit anything anywhere on the map except on the extreme corners. Enemy Congo sailing a nice straight line, not quite broadside on, but close enough, and he's not even paying attention. His guns are completely pointed the other direction, and that's going to cost him a significant issue as Derp manages to double citadel him. So at this point, he's done quite a bit of damage. Now, he's turning his attention to the New York that's in front of him. His secondaries are blazing away, and the secondaries on this ship aren't the best in the world, so not having manual secondaries on this ship, not a big deal. And you can see there, the friendly CV is putting torpedoes down onto this New York and causing some problems. He's hitting him. Derp manages to shoot at the Congo out there and does hit that Congo for a good amount of damage. No citadel there. But you'll notice that he decided to change his target from the New York to that Congo, and that's because the New York was giving him a heavy angle. Very smart, paying attention, not just going to dump shots into the side of or the back of an angled battleship. Now Derp's got a problem here. He's got enemy aircraft coming in here, and you can see the torpedoes coming in there. He's managed to shoot down a good number of those torpedo bombers, but he still takes a lot of damage there, and this again goes into the problem of dealing with the stock hull on the New Mexico and slowing down to try and stay in the cap there. He's taking shots from somebody off in the distance there, so that's one of the potential battleships there. Now, if the enemy carriers had coordinated their attack and come in and really sledgehammered him, they could have finished Derp off then and there. Right now, the enemy team is currently in the lead. They had 2 caps, but more importantly, they've killed more ships. They've also killed one of the friendly carriers on Derp's team. This means the enemy CV, well, they've got less to worry about. Now this New York comes around broadside on. You can see there he's got a turret that's been destroyed. Derp launches off his rear turret shots right into the broadside of him and finishes him off. So that's going to be kill number 2 for Derp. And he's done 115,000 damage at this point in the game. That's a pretty good amount of damage. Granted, there were a lot of battleships here, but that's still a very, very good amount of damage for any Tier 6 battleship game. Now, as he comes around the corner here, he's recovered some of his health. He's got a broadside on Congo yet again, and that Congo is fully focused on killing off that Fuso. Now, because his cannons are pointed the opposite direction, so Derp can just continue to sail here. Now, I would be angling in here. That's something that a lot of people don't really seem to realize about the New Mexico, is that when you get the top hull upgrade at the very least, you can actually wiggle the ship around quite a bit more, and because of that, you can get yourself angled a bit better. Now, the enemy CV is focusing his attention on Derp, and that enemy Congo gets taken out by the friendly carrier. Now, Derp's got shots out at the Fuso, and he was targeting the Fuso because, well, obviously the Congo behind an island can't shoot at him. Double citadels the Fuso. Lots of double citadels here. Finishing off the Fuso for his 3rd kill, and even more citadels, and his Confederate medal as well for causing a significant amount of damage. In the meantime, his team has managed to really rally hard, and they've actually finished off a good number of the enemy ships. And that has now put them firmly in the lead because they've secured the B cap point, and because they've managed to narrow down the enemy down to just 4 ships, 2 carriers, a battleship, and a destroyer. It means that they are way up on points, and the enemy team is way down on points. Now, Derp has got a problem. He's got an enemy New Mexico to deal with. And that enemy New Mexico has significantly more health than Derp does. And he's angled. This is a significant problem because New Mexico's 14-inch guns are going to have a hard time penetrating and causing a lot of damage against an angled New Mexico. Now, something I also want to point out that I see a lot of people do with this ship is that they will turn their guns to try and deal with an enemy ship on the opposite side of them. Rather, they should turn their ship. Something that we saw Derp do at the B cap point. He didn't try to turn his guns towards that New York. He turned his whole ship to keep his guns there. This is important because your gun traverse is incredibly slow, and your rudder shift time, even with the second hull, the B hull here, is actually faster then turning your guns. You will turn your ship around quicker, then your turrets will traverse to the opposite side. So don't turn your ship, so don't turn your guns, turn your ship. Now, at this point, this New Mexico has taken a pretty big hit. He's not recovering a lot of health here, but look at what he's doing. He's turning broadside to try and get a better shot on Derp there. And that's going to so he can get his rear turrets pointed out there. So shots coming in, there are all the shots. Derp fires off his forward battery, turns in. You can hear a lot of those ricochets there. But look at this. Now that he's fired off his shots, and before he can get his ship turned back, Derp's going to get his rear guns out on top of him. And you can see there, that guy also turned in, so he only managed to penetrate twice and got a ricochet there. So that New Mexico really is playing quite smart. It's basically the battle of wills here. Who's got the bigger one? Well, friendly carrier, the Bogue, is going to drop some nice hot fishies right on top of that New Mexico, cause him some serious problem. High explosive coming in there, and now that New Mexico's engine has been knocked out. Now, Derp manages to hit him right in the bow, a very smart spot there, and that's going to allow penetration, and he's going to finish him off there. Now you notice that New Mexico, he turned the opposite direction, and that meant that his rear guns were no longer on the side they needed to be. This meant that Derp only had to survive the impact from the forward batteries, while simultaneously being able to put out not only his forward shots, but turn slightly and finish that guy off with his rear shots. Again, don't turn your turrets, turn your ship. Now, there are just 3 ships left. 2 carriers and a destroyer. Now, the destroyer, that Fusen, was last spotted all the way up at A. He has basically disappeared. And last time we saw him, he was reasonably low health. But it's a sneaky destroyer, so he could honestly be anywhere. Both carriers are back down towards the corner of the map there. Usually, at this point in the battle, that's where they're going to gravitate to. I'm actually surprised that they've managed to get down there and not move. Sometimes with these kinds of battle situations, especially when you've got a strong fleet presence pushing up one side of the map, you'll see that the carriers will relocate to the opposite side, to your spawn side. Friendly destroyer takes out one of the 2 carriers, and that just leaves one of the other carriers left. Now, he's outside of gun range right now, and this is where the New Mexico really fails. Derp has got 4 kills, and he really wants that Kraken unleashed. But you can see he's just now in sight range of that Zuiho, and even with his catapult spotter up, he's not quite in range. Now, if he had the full hull upgrades and the range upgrade mod on this, I'm not sure if that's a possibility, but if he went full range upgrades on this, he would be in range here. He would be in that 22 kilometers, and he could hit that guy. Now, that guy looks like he's given up. He's stopped there, so Derp gets his shots out. These are pretty much going to be the final shots of the game based on how much fire that guy's got coming in. Carriers dropping torpedoes on him, but neither of their shots make it as that carrier gets taken out by somebody else. So no Kraken Unleashed for Derp, sorry about that. But hey, 180,000 damage in a tier 6 battle, that's actually really impressive. 2 medals, Confederate and high caliber there, really show that this ship is quite capable, even when it's not top. Top of the team for XP earned there, 2100 base XP. Anyway, that's it for today's battle, folks. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me in the channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play various games live after I start my new job, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.